Hey everyone, it's RichardMetalFan here. Welcome to another episode of RichardMetalFan Interviews. This is episode number 82, and today's guest we're talking to none other than Hannes Van Dahl. He is the drummer for Swedish power metal band Sabaton. Today we're going to be talking to him about their new album, The War to End All Wars, as well as his approach to drumming, and much, much more. So without further ado, let's go talk to Hannes. Enjoy this interview. So what's up, guys? I'm here with Hannes Van Dahl from the almighty Sabaton. So how are you doing today, Hannes?
Doing great. We are today in Chicago to continue the remaining week of our North American tour, and it's been a blast so far. Such a good time, and also to be able to be back and do this after 2 years of pandemic.
Awesome. So your latest album, The War to End All Wars, has been out now for a little bit. Can you talk to me about the whole writing and recording process and how that all came to be and that good stuff?
Absolutely. We released The Great War, and we felt simply that there were so many stories that we couldn't fit on that one. So the natural step was to make a big brother, if you will, to it, because there was just too many untold stories that we found very interesting. So the natural step was to do The War to End All Wars, and then we had to just reschedule a bit because of the pandemic and record an album as safe as possible as we can during the circumstances.
All right. And would you consider this album just a direct follow-up to The Great War? Do you think this record is almost kind of like a new beginning or a new start for Sabaton in a way?
No, I wouldn't say that, but we recorded it and wrote it the way we always do. We try to make an album that we really enjoy, both writing and recording, So, but I really think it's The War to End All Wars. To me, it feels like Sabaton 2022. That feels like a very natural progression of the band and the way the album sounds too.
All right, right. And was there any preconceived ideas making this album, or there are a lot of trial and error and improvisation along the way?
Oh, but that comes with every album that we do, like trying and failing and trying another way. That's a songwriting process, and that's the way it goes. And I think it has to be like that to make the songs as good as possible.
All right. And I know all your music is very conceptual. Do you usually think of a story before the music, or do you usually have the music already written and that can help determine the story in a way?
That's a good question. 9 out of 10 times the music comes first. So we write the music first, and then of course we have the stories as well, but we don't know on what song you want to put them. Because to be frank, you have one shot at making one song, and that story. So you always try to make the story justice with the music, and that's the tricky puzzle. I think though, like Christmas Truce, it was the other way around. So the story was there first, and we want to do a song that is about the Christmas truce, and then it came after.
Right. Right now, like I said, that musically this album talks a little bit about the World War I, but of course, I know there's the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, the stormtroop versus the Christmas troop. Is the album kind of meant to be listened in order, or does the order doesn't really matter and you can just listen to it from different angles?
Yeah, exactly. So the album is not it's not, the songs are not in order time wise, but you just try to make as dynamic album as you can, and we're still that old school that we like to put the songs in certain places on the album for a good reason, to get that experience. If you are a person that listens to an album from start to finish, like we are, most of us.
Right. And like I said, I get different vibes from the different songs. There's one songs that just makes you want to jump, and then other songs that just makes you want to slow dance. I'm guessing you feel different vibes and different emotions of every song on the album, right?
Sorry, could you say the last part again? So it cut out.
Like, I'm guessing you feel like different emotions and different vibes with every song on this album, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the stories are what they are, and we really try our utmost best to make the story justice with the music. So yeah.
All right. And usually, as a drummer, because there's always the saying, if your drummer sucks, then your band sucks. So, do you usually have like the entire beat written and then the rest of the band writes according to that, or do you need to hear what the guitars are doing in order to lay down your parts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we try to when we write, we try to make the demos as close to the actual recording as we can, because like as a drummer, I'm highly dependent on what the guitar players are gonna do, and bass for that matter, and vocals too. So if I can choose, I'll have the whole song pretty much finished before we enter the studio. And then also in the studio, a lot of magic happens there too. So you always got to be open for that as well. I mean, if as a drummer, even like improvising, there's a lot of that sometimes on some songs. And we record 4 different takes and yeah, this was cool. Then we keep that, the best one.
Right, right. And is your music like open to interpretation, or is your music kind of like almost like a history lesson in a way?
What do you mean, like story-wise? If that's interpretational?
Yeah. Conceptually, it talks about like the wars and and history and stuff.
No, I wouldn't say it is interpretational, because I mean the stories are what they are, and we didn't write them. First the historians gets their say in what happened, and then we can start touching it. Yeah.
All right. And kind of like going into your live show, is there a similar to playing live as to recording an album? Or are they kind of like almost two separate entities?
They are for sure two separate entities. I prefer playing live, and I also highly enjoy recording an album because I like that whole process. I'm try to be as involved as I can with mixing and mastering, and we're all nerds in the end, so it's a super cool process to see come alive as well. But yeah, I mean, if I could choose, it would be a live show for sure.
Awesome. And I noticed you also play with a variety of different bands. The first time I saw you guys was back in 2016, where you were playing with Trivium, who I'm actually seeing tonight. And I know you also Creator, we're more kind of like a thrash metal band. And now you're playing with electronic metal. Do you ever notice like
I'm sorry, dude. Give me 1 second. I just got to get out of this music. I'm sorry.
All right. Like, do you ever notice like a different crowd reaction depending on the tours that you're on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's cool to do those tours together with other bands that has other types of fans as well, But yeah, different crowds, and if people are into the music, that's the biggest compliment we as a band can get.
All right, and I got 2 more questions for you.
Yep.
Kind of like going back into songwriting, and since your music, you also have like some long songs, usually like 5-6 minutes in length. But for you, how do you know when a song is done?
Oh, that's super tricky, because hey, great question. I mean, sometimes you just got to get it out, because you can work on everything forever, but in the end, if you did all you can, does it really make the song better? That's that's the eternal, battle. When is the song done? Yeah, great question.
All right, and then the final question I want to ask you is, coming from Sweden. Like, Sweden has like a bunch of great bands, from like Sabaton, Hammerfall, even like the melodic death metal bands from like At the Gate, Star Tranquility, Soilwork. But I think Sweden has a very diverse metal scene. So was there like a scene in Sweden that Sabaton fell part of, or was it the goal for the band to get outside of your country, play in front of different audience stuff?
Yeah, I was in this band from the beginning. I've been here with it 10 years soon. But no, I don't think like that was aware way of thinking. More like we like to play music, and this is the type of music we write, and then we're super fortunate to be able to do this for a living now and for 20 years, you know.
Yeah. So before we go, I just want to thank you for this opportunity for this interview. Is there anything else with that Sabaton you'd like to plug in terms of like tours or new music and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, our new album is out. We released a song called Father the other day. I'm super stoked to hear what people think about that song. And other than that, it's been a fantastic run here in North America, and I can't wait to come back.
So yeah, awesome. So everybody, Hannes from Sabaton. We'll see you next time.